What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy January 10th to all of you. Thank you for watching sportsbookreview.com. This is Betting with the Bag. Big Friday card on in basketball. We got NBA popping off. We got NCAA basketball popping off. In 24 short minutes, we'll be joined by Teddy Covers. 40 minutes after that, we're going to be joined by Maxwell Smart. And we also have a play of the day video from our very own low bagger, AM Plus Money. This show is packed. Thank you so much for watching. We got 3 NHL games ready to pop off, 9 NBA games. Then we're going to talk NCAA basketball, and of course, we're going to talk NFL playoffs with Teddy Covers as well. We don't need to worry too much about breaking down that national championship anymore because we'll have Teddy on Monday as well. Thank you to all the cappers joining us in the chat. Moses Saucedo. Respect. Great hustle. First in the chat, our Moses Saucedo. Cash Action Bets. Mark Unkefer. Yenny Toon. Jaspers. What a great group. Carlos Peroge representing DC in the house. Gabriel Hernandez. Ty Clinton. Ron Loft and Von Polo. Serious business. Gerald Jones. Steve Priest says shout out. Thanks to Eddie Euler. Went 4-0 plus 800 tailing his plays yesterday. Eddie Euler crushing it. Paulo Marquez. Jason Fritz birthday weekend for you. Jason Fritz, I hope it's a spectacular birthday weekend. Getting 2020 started off the right way. Jason Fritz birthday weekend. We got Drexley in the house. Let's get to work. Nate the Great, the Felt Bandit. Vinny Cornell. Clarence Davis, Mitch Bruner, Dina Lombardo, Jersey Jinx says, where's Jay? Oh, okay, Jersey Jinx going after him. Okay, Jay Money's great show is right after this one. After this one, Terrell Miller, Heart in Hand, Ilya Katz. Let's get to work. Let's review what happened yesterday. I got to pump the brakes on college basketball right now. It's just affecting my bankroll in a very negative way. In NHL, we hit that huge score with the Oilers, which made not hitting the puck line with the Bruins and missing out on that first period with the Knights. The Knights have been outscored now 10-0 in the last 3 first periods. I'm just thankful I don't have futures on them. In NBA, we hit on the Kemba Walker prop over 20.5 points easily. We hit on the Al Horford rebounds and assists. I didn't need to get cute. He had a nice shooting game. His points went over 2. So we hit with our 2 props. And thankfully, I didn't move them down to a half unit. I kept them at 3/4 of a unit, thankfully. Because if I hadn't of it would have been a losing night in NBA. I mean, I lost the juice in NBA, but plus 125, didn't lose any juice there on the Celtics. Lost the Celtics. They sure did not look good in crunch time right there. And then I lost in that over with the Timberwolves. The Blazers just 102 points. I mean, Wolves did their part, putting up 116, but a struggle. Jasper says, great call on the Oilers. That was very easy. Very easy. We got SBR Forum in the house. Says, join the conversation in SBR Forum, create an account, and get in on the action. SBR Forum joining us. We got Rye Cape ready to go. Christopher Carter. Nilo in the house. Cobra Sports. SBR Forum says, Maryland Terrapins, NCAA champs. I hope so. I've got $100 on them at 33-1. So does Flash. We each have them 33-1. I hope so. Our Washington future went down the drain with Quad leaving academic ineligibility. Now they have to get in the tournament without him. I don't think they will. So I think that was $100 down drain, just $100. But flash it on that one too. Omega Capper in there is 420. Fuego Shadow. Dab Fences killed it yesterday. Then gave it all back with the Rockets. How terrible were they last night? I don't know how good of a basketball team they are. I hear that. Jin Rummy's in the house. Jin Rummy growing stronger. Great work. Hit with Pred's puck line and the Kings. Nice job. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Tackman Clan Killer in the house. We got Anna Merrick. Anthony Chalmers says, y'all ready for my Vikings to pull up the impossible tomorrow? I'm not. Teddy certainly thinks it's possible, but I did just put $300 on the Niners to win the NFC. And it's shocking that I don't have futures on my football team. What a disgrace. but I finally have one now. Ilya Kat says Titans upset the Ravens tomorrow. That would be the best thing that could possibly happen to me because now I desperately need the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. All right. 420 Fuego says Leche. Beach Boss says I called that Michigan State. Nice work. Let's get to work, shall we? Okay, let's go. We're going to start in NHL and slight, I guess I was up a 0.37 of a unit in NHL. I'm going to get right at some point, and I haven't been right all year. I mean, we very quickly at the beginning of the year went up double-digit units, but not been hot all year. Rafa, can you pop up the NHL record? God, nothing irritates me. This is supposed to be my bread and butter. This is supposed to be where I eat. Not happening. Okay. Mr. Mississippi Razor made mine said, kill myself with Detroit minus 7.5. Yeah, I mean, that's just, we just can't take bad teams when they're favorites. We just can't do it. There's Eric Jones. Cash action bets making moves with Arizona, Detroit, and the Avalanche. There's Dan Kelly and now his viral video. Dominic Zappi. I love seeing Dominic ready to rock with us. Damon Santori. Let's get to work. We're going to start with Senators, Red Wings. Let's pull up the best odds page on the planet, sportsbookreview.com, SBR odds page. We're going to move over to money lines and totals, and we're going to start with Senators, Red Wings. Here's another situation, quite like what we're just talking about with the Pistons, Cavs last night. I mean, these are two bad hockey teams. How could Ottawa be favored in any situation, ever? They shouldn't be. Both teams are dealing with injuries. Detroit decimated on the D-line. No DeKaiser. They got Green back, but they don't have Erickson. So they don't have Erickson, DeKaiser, and Daly. And Jazowski never became the player that I thought he was going to be. Then you look up front. Athanasiou out. Anthony Mantha, 6'5", Anthony Mantha out. Now they're just a bad hockey team. Franz Nielsen did get off the schneid with 2 goals last game. He had 1 goal all year long. 35-year-old. Still getting respect and love from Blashill, but here we go. Let's see what to do here. This total. So the Senators have been allowing 5 goals a game. So they've lost 5 straight. They've lost 5 goals a game, in each of their last 4 games? And of course, this total goes to 6 to 6.5. My first thought is that DJ Smith's got to be laying into them. My first thought was trying to take the under, and then I was like, you know what? Don't put money on any angle with these terrible hockey teams. Hogberg supposed to be in goal for the Senators. 3.41 goals against average, 894 save percentage. Bernier's just a bum. 3.04 goals against average, 903 save percentage. Both teams have bad penalty killing. Both teams don't have a power play that can abuse that penalty killing. In fact, the more we talk about it, the more I think that we can get under that 6.5. Doug Barnhouse in that listening in his car. Much love to you, Doug Barnhouse, our guy. Ron Lawton said tennis helped me avoid a terrible night. Still a losing night though. You know, everybody's been hammering these overs in Senators Red Wings. Clarence Davis got at the 6, and that's a smart look, but I really sit here thinking that they should be lower scoring games. And Rod's wacky going over the 6.5. I mean, we've seen overs. When's it going to stop? Do the Red Wings really have the ability to take advantage of this Sens team? I don't know if they do. Zadina scored in back-to-back games, that 2018 first-round draft pick for the Red Wings. Wings are coming off 4-3 win. You know, I should just stay off of that. Moses Saucedo said, if you on that under, I need that. I don't know. Mitch Bruner says under wing Senators. I knew when the 6 popped off that it would become a 6.5 quickly. They keep going over. Bleds W on first period money line with the Sens. Sens have been awful. I mean, these two teams combined allow 7.22 goals a game. Okay, first off, the reason why I would think about going under is because these two coaches, I think, are very good. And you can say what you want about what Blashill's done, whatever. This year it's been bad. But I think they're very good coaches, and they're going to be all over these guys to play tight, conservative hockey. And there's going to be a 6.5. I don't want to reach here. Let's move on to Coyotes Hurricanes. We can revisit this stuff if we need to. All right. Coyotes Hurricanes. Do we know if we are going to see the debut of Ivan Prosvetov? Do we know that? Let's see if I can pull this up right now. I've been waiting to see if we can see the debut of Ivan Prosvetov, 20-year-old goalie. I mean, we're talking about throwing this guy into the fire for the Coyotes. He was in ECHL for 5 games this year, Rapid City Rush for 5 games this year. He moves up to the AHL with the Tucson Roadrunners. He looked great with the Tucson Roadrunners, but man, we are 1 year removed from him with a 9-10 save percentage for the Saginaw Spirit. And the Saginaw Spirit were a good hockey team. Let's see. Can we get a... No, we're still not getting... I wonder if it's going to be Prosvetov. I wonder if it's going to be Prosvetov. Coyotes, Hurricanes. Hurricanes are in that sweet spot, 6-game of a 7-game homestand. Let's see what the odds market is telling us here. Carolina opening up at -171, or 77, excuse me. At Pinnacle, they're now at -191. This total opened up at 6. It's now down to 5.5. I mean, I have to think that there's going to be goals. Second half of a back-to-back for the Coyotes. I do not want to go up against 2 market moves, the Senators. I mean, I knew that the Senators would go to 6 to 6.5, but this Coyote spot going down to 5.5. And Corey Dulski liking the under. If you got it at 6, great job. Game wraps up a 3-game road swing. Coyotes won 4 before they came out on the road. They had a very nice start against the Panthers, 5-2. Then they lost 4-0 yesterday at Tampa. Justin Williams will be rejoining the Hurricanes at some point. That's a nice score for them. Rod Zawacki liking the under 5.5 too on this. God, if Prosvetov's in goal, I don't know how. And if Adin Hill's on back-to-back right now, I don't know how that's either. God, that 5.5 is vulnerable. Feel like, oh, God. Mrazek has a 900 save percentage. Coyotes just coming off of a shutout. All right, let's talk Pens, Avalanche. Avalanche opened up at -151. They're now at -146. This total opened up at 6.5. It's now down to 6 at both BetOnline and Pinnacle. It's now down to 6 at both BetOnline and Pinnacle. Will Crosby make his return tonight? That's a big question. I'd love to know if he was. I'd probably fade the Penguins if he was. Tristan Jarry, 934 save percentage now. We're expecting Francouz to take over the starting goaltending job. Grubauer's not looked good lately. Penguins 16-6-4 since Sullivan deserves Coach of the Year. Gensel out, Crosby out, and they're getting so much from Malkin and Rust. I still don't know why Vegas didn't pick up Rust. I thought that's who they... My whole idea when Vegas came into the league was to pick up Rust and Antti Ranta. Now, Ranta's turned out to be very injury-prone. And then Marc-Andre Fleury brought him all the way to Stanley Cup. Look, I was wrong. They were right. Nilo says Hill's projected. I'd be shocked to see them go back-to-back with Adin Hill. I'd be surprised. I mean, this guy hadn't played. I'd be shocked to see that. Jeffrey Ryan says Butler or Providence. We are going to talk college basketball very soon. There's AM in the house. We have an AM plus money play of the day video coming here. Yeah, I just can't take this under 6.5 with these 2 bad teams, Senators, Red Wings. Cash action is on Providence. Anthony Chalmers fading the Pens tonight. But, man, this goaltending is so weak. It's so weak, and yet it goes down to a 5.5. Arizona, Carolina. Okay, well, that's one move I will go up against. The Coyotes are going to have to score. They're going to have to score with Prosvetov in net or Adin Hill on the second half of a back-to-back. They're going to have to score. They're coming off being shut out. All right, I'm going in on this over 5.5. I will go against the market move here. Let's see what the best line I could get is. Here we go. We're going to totals here at SBR Sportsbookreview.com. The over 5.5 at -108. That's available about both BetOnline and Pinnacle. Over 5.5 -108. All right, and then I guess the correlated move, let's just see what they're hanging for the over 2.5. If it's juiced too much, I certainly won't do it, but over 2.5 for the Hurricanes very quickly. Team total, just see what they are hanging for us. Let's go. Here we go. Oh, sorry, we'll go to main very quickly. Sorry, just going to do a quick line shop here. Team total. All right, it's not up here. Here we go. Team total for the Hurricanes. Oh, jeez. That's ridiculous. Okay. Way too juiced. Way too juiced. Damon Santori said, let's be fair. Goaltending has been weak since the Bulin Wall retired. I like that. There's Luis Fernando Esquinza says, today the Mavs will choke, bro. Lakers spot. Is it? Because is AD going to be in the lineup? LeBron's dealing with the flu. He will be there. He will be there. Bo J says, I don't think Crosby plays. Local radio saying they're bringing him back slowly. Yeah, I hear that. Okay. That is all I'm going to do. Rod Zawacki, though, going big. Pens money line. Pens minus 1.5 plus 375. 6-1 last 7 road games. Even with injuries, Pens find a way. Wow. Joseph Browning thinking about the under in Clemson LSU. I think the Burrow under pass yards, it's at like 367. That's not easy to do against Clemson. So that would be a move I make. We should talk to, maybe we'll wait till Monday. Maybe we'll wait till Monday at that point. All right. And Luis Fernando Esquinza, that was a spectacular call on Melo under 17.5. Great job. Great job. Stu Chaos saying AD probably won't play today. David Chamilio says over or under on San Francisco. We're going to talk about all 4 of those games with our Teddy covers. Let's move on to NBA. Disappointing NBA Season 2. 2-2 last night. Upsetting. Can we pop up that NBA record? Thank you, Rafa. There it is in no glory whatsoever. No glory whatsoever. Jasper saying Luka always shows up against LeBron. I hear that. Moses Salcedo says, what kind of coffee do you drink, Jimmy? Black. Just black. Straight black, man. Coffee in this cup. All right. Let's start rolling. NBA. Let's get after it right now. I've locked in 2 plays, 2 props. Went 2-2 in props last night, right when I was questioning my prop ability. Herder and Young, I'm going over. I'm getting over 13.5 points for Herder. I'm going over 29.5 points for Young. Let's see if there's been any change on that very quickly here. We'll move over to basketball. I just feel like Isaiah Thomas is so vulnerable. If McRae starts defending whoever gets hot, I just don't know how these guards don't score. I don't know how these guards don't score at will. And there's been no movement on these 2 spots there with Herder and Trae Young. No moves. Those are the only plays that I locked in early. Respect, AM. Respect, my friend. Okay. Dutch Boy Fresh liking Pacers minus 2.5. Joseph Browning says, post your football picks for NFL and college, Lowbaggers, so we can see what's up. Joseph Browning wanting to see what is good. Corey Dulski says, good call on Horford last night. Corey, yes, I could have made more out of it, though. He did things very, very easy. Very, very easy. All right, let's get to work. Hawks, Wizards right now. Let's move over to basketball, and let's go do spreads and totals here. Hawks, Wizards. Wizards open up as minus 1.5 point favorites. That quickly turns over to the Hawks at 1 point favorites. This total at 237 or 237.5, now up to 238. And neither pace last 5, both pace last 5 have slowed down. I mean, to me, I think we go under this total, man. This total is too high. Is this too high? I think this total is too high. 238? Look at the pace last 5. I mean, people are just thinking that the Wizards are this terrible defensive team. And they are. But the Hawks' pace last 5 has gone to 13th in the NBA. Wizards' pace last 5 has gone to 12th. Ben Sports 24/7 coming in. Don't think I didn't notice. Our guy Ben Sports Picks 24/7 came into our chat yesterday and gave out 2 winners. 2 winners from our guy Ben. Don't think I didn't notice, Ben. I certainly did. Let's just quickly touch on what Ben did for us yesterday. It was very smoothly done and easy cashers. Where is it? I have it right here. Michigan, Purdue over 130.5. Towson, Drexel over 130.5. Great job, Ben Sports 24/7. Absolutely great job. And Ski Prof says, haven't finished capping, but liking Hawks and Pelicans so far. Ski, don't you think that there's a vividness bias with these 2 teams that is the reason this total is so high? I do. I think this is too high. I think this is too high, Ski. Please, I'd love to hear what you think of that. That's ridiculous. You get 1 quarter at one 4-minute struggle for a team, and they're in trouble. Steve Priest says, my bankroll got a huge boost from Eddie Euler. Shout out to Eddie Euler. Jesse Dykstra announced. Love seeing Jesse Dykstra announced. Says, really like Iowa at home today. Give me the points. Really like bounce back spot for a solid team. Maryland 0-2 on the road. All right, let me put it. You're welcome, Ben Sports 24/7. Great work. Don't think I don't notice. That was great. And there was easy cashers as well. Hawks and under, says Rod Zwacky. Ski Prophet says, I would not bet under unless the Hawks were at home. God, it's so high. A Guru says, I can't see Providence being Butler. I mean, Ski, 238? Are these guys both going to get in the 120s? They both have to get in the 120s. David Chamilo says, just like the Timberwolves game yesterday, I mean, the Blazers were my concern. Their pace of play is slow. Blaz W says, Wizards consistently don't play defense and let teams run it up. There's that Fire TV in the house. Cash big of OKC second half. Great job. Stu Chaos says, at the root of both these teams, Atlanta, Washington like to run a gun. But is Bradley Beal going to play? Because if Bradley Beal plays, there's two things here. I mean, if Bradley Beal plays, how many games has he missed now? Beal has missed past 4 games because of lower right leg soreness. They're not going to want to play him tons of minutes. Ricci says, don't play any defense. Would wait until it gets to 240 until you pull the under. Let's take a look at what Pinnacle's done with this total. We got 3 minutes before Teddy Covers will be joining us. How could this go up? It's a shockingly high total. With Beal, who's possibly hurt. Or we know he's hurt, but possibly not going to play. God, how do I take overs with Herter and Young and then take the full game under? Because 238 is ridiculous. Jehenzeb Khan in the house. We got Jehenzeb Khan saying, my only hesitation with that under is how small the game will be. Neither team have bigs. I hear that. There's perfect rotation in the house. Shadow says 239 at Heritage. Oh my God, it's 239 at Heritage. These guys aren't that good. Well, we know that. I mean, that's a stupid comment. Sorry. The way I see this is there's going to be tons of guard play. What have we seen from the Charlotte Hornets with their guard play? Right now, the Charlotte Hornets' last 5 is the slowest pace that I've seen of any team this year. It's at 92 possessions a game. You look at Lakers getting 10 extra possessions a game than the Charlotte Hornets. It's because it's all guard play. It's these 2 guards whom I love, in Rozier and Devontae, who are trying to create all the offense on their own. And if that happens, I mean, it's just, Yellow Jesus is over a pass. I don't think so, man. I think this is too high. This is too high. It's ridiculous. All right, I'm just going to keep an eye on this total. We'll talk to Teddy Covers. And I know I can already almost predict exactly what Teddy's going to say about this. Yellow Jesus says, don't touch the under, bro. It's not a good bet. Nilo says the market likes the over. All right, I'm not going to make a move right now, but I can almost hear Teddy in my ears, and I see Teddy ready to rock. He's going to be ready in seconds here. Yellow G said Young will have 45 himself. Look, I'm already on the Young and Herter props, but I mean, 239 without Beal, or even if Beal comes back, dealing with lower left leg soreness. Let's bring Teddy into the chat right now. Teddy Covers coming to us live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Friday morning. Teddy, how are you doing on this Friday?
I'm okay. I had kind of a crappy night last night, so I've been in better moods, but I'm okay. I'm ready to attack today's card. How about you?
I'm ready to attack today's card. I went 2-2 in NBA, had slight profit in NHL, but college basketball has just been killing me right now. And I got to pump the brakes there. Teddy, Hawks, Wizards. I'm already on the Herter Young props because if Beal comes back, with lower leg soreness, he's going to have to run all over the floor defending. Jordan McRae maybe can come in and defend, but if Isaiah Thomas is defending any of these 2 guys, they're going to light it up. So while I say this, and I know this doesn't correlate with that, this total at 239 at Heritage, I mean, it just seems too high for me. Have you made a move on Hawks Wizards, Teddy?
No, I have not, and I'm not really particularly tempted to be that. It's certainly not from a side perspective. The quotes from Washington after that blowout at Orlando the other night, they weren't good. They're talking about how, hey, we've been fighting the good fight, but we're so shorthanded. We're doing the best we can. It was a lot of excuse making. And those are the type of quotes that concern me moving forward. From a total standpoint, boy, I'm reluctant to play over in this range where, both teams could get to $1.15 and you're still, can we get there? Can we get there? I don't do a lot with totals in this range. I really don't. But I can't make a case. I mean, again, I know the Wizards aren't playing defense. Okay, and I know Atlanta doesn't play defense. And I expect the pace here to be really fast. Maybe you can get there. It's a bit out of my price range.
I don't see the Wizards getting enough buckets. And if Beal comes back, I especially don't see it. This Wizards team is bad. They're a bad basketball team. And I know Orlando can be stifling defensively, but if I get one quarter at 48 points, this is going under. One quarter. Last night I was on the over in that Timberwolves game, the Blazers scored 2 points to open up the second quarter. For 5 minutes? 5 minutes go by. They've scored 2 points, and that over was toast. It was just done. They put up like a 67-point third quarter, and it still didn't get to the over. All right. I'm gonna do it. I have to do it. Under 239 at Heritage. Obviously there's a recency bias here after watching that game and watching this Wizards Magic game. Under 239 at -105. We'll see if this bites me in the ass. Let's move over to Pelicans Knicks right now. This total's jumped up 3 points from 225.5 to 228.5. Teddy, let's go to spreads. We're on the best odds page on the planet, sportsbook.com SBR odds page. New Orleans opens up at -4.5. Now they're forced across the board. We've talked about the Pelicans being bet on, Teddy. Knicks coming off losing badly by 24 points at Utah on Wednesday night. They look awful without Marcus Morris and Julius Randle. I don't know. Do we know if either of them will be back? Because Julius Randle's dealing with a personal issue. I don't know if we know if any of these guys are going to be back. The win for the Pelicans, 123-108, was a play that you were on, Teddy. Easy, very easy. I was on it too. They've won 7 of their last 10 since that franchise record 13-game losing streak. Brandon Ingram is rolling. I mean, the Pelicans are bet on. Are you betting on them here?
Of course. I'm not. When you find the bet on teams, okay, like New Orleans has been for the last month, you ride them until they die. All right. Pelicans haven't died yet. I was a little bit disappointed by this number, but it's coming back down. The info I have is Randall is out and Morris is doubtful. And that's a duo that the Knicks really can't afford to be without. They're on the tail, they're returning home off a dismal road trip, and that was a dismal road trip for the Knicks. Make no mistake about it. This is not a home court that has any advantage whatsoever these days, and it's a Pelicans team. Look, maybe the Knicks give them a battle. Maybe they don't. I don't trust the Knicks to hang, and New Orleans. And again, I was a little bit disappointed by this number. It shows to me that the markets are starting to catch up with where the Pelicans have been. But I've been riding this, and I'm going to keep riding it. New Orleans, for me, is a clear choice at -4.
It makes so much sense. And Lonzo coming off an off game. I think these guys are going to enjoy being in Madison Square Garden. They've turned their season around. And the Knicks are a complete mess right now. I don't see how we don't do this. Ski Profit, bet on teams, Pelican, Jazz, Hawks, Spurs. Luis Fernando Esquinza saying, Knicks about to fold. Dutch Boy Fresh says, I'm on Pelicans. Rather have Holiday in, but they're just better than the Knicks. Cash Action Bet saying Morris is questionable. Luis says, JJ Redick always shows up at the Garden. Steve Priest says Pelicans have gone over 5 in a row. Kobe Z4 says Ingram sprained finger. Is he playing? Let me get as far as I know, he is playing. They don't even have him on the report, do they? Is he on the injury report?
No, there's no Ingram injury on any report. So
Yeah.
I would expect him to play tonight. And if something comes up, if Ingram doesn't play, that would temper my enthusiasm for New Orleans significantly. He's their he's their star right now. And I don't know that I certainly wouldn't want to lay this price at Madison Square Garden without him. But I've heard nothing to say that he's going to miss any time.
Man, I just think that these guys roll here. What are they first half? It just feels like we can put our foot on the throat of a team that's down. Also coming back from a long road trip, a discouraging road trip. All right, I'm gonna double up here on the Pelicans. -1.5 first half on the Pelicans. I'm getting that -1.5. That's already moved to 2 at Intertops. It's about to move to 2 at Pinnacle. They're at -116.
Something's happening literally right now.
Yeah.
There was just info that came out this minute, and the markets are starting to move towards New Orleans.
Yeah, it just moved to 2 as we spoke at UWager. So you're seeing that there as well.
Yeah, I think that's that Morris downgraded to doubtful that's moving the market. That just happened like a minute before we went on air, and the markets are moving on that now.
All right, first half, -1.5, -110. Full game, let's see what I get full game very quickly. See if I can, oh man, bookmaker just moved the 4 to -123. There is still a -110 at Bet365, full game, -4 and -110. Okay, let's keep rocking, making some progress and making some bets. Heat Nets, next up. Miami, Brooklyn. Miami opening up at -3, now -3.5. This total opening up at 217, now 217.5. Here we go. Heat. Wow, that was an impressive performance in Indiana. Butler sure had an axe to grind with TJ Warren. He did exactly that. TJ Warren, coming off 36-point game, is held to 3 points. And Butler just beacon at him at him all game long. Nets have lost 7 straight. Dinwiddie looks tired, but they have LeVert back, who's been on a minutes restriction. So at 13 points in 16 minutes on Saturday. Then on Tuesday, 20 points in 22 minutes. He will probably be in the starting lineup tonight. Heat coming off that big win. You making a move here on Heat Nets?
No, I'm not going to touch it. If I was, I could only take Miami. You know, the little talking to that Spoelstra gave the Heat before the Pacers game, where he said, you guys aren't good enough on the road. You're not bringing the intensity on the road. They brought a little intensity for that game. They might do it again tonight. I have no interest in stepping in front of Miami with a Brooklyn team that, continues to lose, continues to struggle. When you look at that Nets roster, again, without Kyrie and without Durant, you're not overwhelmed. You're not looking at this team like, wow, look at the Nets. They're loaded with talent. They're not. They're struggling, and I'm not going to back a struggling team against Miami. In a virtual, it's not a pick'em game, but it's a game where the winner is likely to cover the point spread. Heat or pass for this better. I would look for the Nets to continue losing.
Do you think you're going to get to the window with these Heat?
No, I made 4 moves on tonight's card, one of which we talked about with the New Orleans. 3 more that we haven't gotten to yet.
God. Bleds W on Heat first quarter. Nick Allegretti already got on Heat at -3. Robert Kahn says Heat struggle on the road, but that could change here. And Teddy spoke about, what Spoelstra said, and they reacted to it. Now they're coming off a big win. Is this a possible letdown spot? I might make a move on the Heat. Let's move on to Spurs Grizzlies, Teddy. Move on to Spurs Grizzlies. Spurs open up as 1-point favorites. Grizzlies are now 1-point favorites. This total opened up at 234, and it keeps dropping. It's now at 230.5. Luis Fernando Esquinza liking that Dinwiddie over, says the guy scores the ball. He's been looking a little tired lately, but maybe he bounces back here. Spurs Grizzlies. Grizzlies first in pace over the last 5 games. Spurs 20th in pace over the last 5 games. Dutch Boy Fresh says Heat looks too easy. Memphis coming off their 3rd straight win, 119-112 at home over the Wolves. on Tuesday night. They've won 10 of their last 16. They're just playing good basketball. 9 of their next 12 games are against teams with losing records. They play their next 5 games at home. I mean, these guys, next thing you know, they could be 500. Spurs are coming off that 129-114 win in Boston. That followed that huge win against Milwaukee at home on the second half of a home-and-home. DeRozan is rolling. Lonnie Walker, 19 in 19 minutes last game. Spurs have won 4 of 6. Spurs, Grizzlies, Teddy, is there a move to make here?
Good game, good game in terms of the race for the number 8 seed in the West, where, these two teams neck and neck right now, and they're both talking about it. This is a potential play-in playoff preview, I guess, for January basketball. But two teams that had a pretty rough start to the season that have both kind of found their mojo of late. You talked about Memphis, 10-6 straight up in their last 16. They're an easy part of the schedule. Every quote out of that locker room is positive. That's a team that likes each other. That's a team that's focused one game at a time. Great Jay Crowder. I mean, Crowder's another guy on that team. Good character guy. There's a lot to like about this Memphis team. San Antonio has been shooting lights out. And I bet against them in Boston today. They said they hit 47% from 3 from the last 5 games. They can't continue that. And they did. They drained every shot. Against the Celtics, it wasn't the 3-point shots, it was the 2-point shots. But their offensive efficiency has been off the charts in recent weeks. Considering Memphis' pace, I wouldn't talk anyone out of an over in this ballgame. From a side standpoint, it feels like a pick'em game. And I would not be surprised at all to see this one come down to the last possession or two.
Yeah, it's an exciting one. My first instinct was, wow, the Grizzlies are playing with pace. The Spurs can't miss. This is going to go over. And then I saw that 234. I was like, that's so high. Now down to 230.5. If this keeps dropping, I might want to go over top of it. Do you feel that because this has become such an important game to get in the playoffs, that the defensive intensity will be heightened, and that's why even at 230 it's still a danger?
That's something that worries me, but it would worry me more 3 months from now than it does right now. Now it's all right. Let's hype the game. Let's talk about these two teams and their relative playoff position. And when I'm not always a huge fan of playing overs in these pick'em games. All right, and again, a point spread, I usually use 2.5 or less, where the team's favored by 2.5 or less. Because you expect those games to be tight, and often they're one-possession games in the final minute. And the one-possession games in the final minute, you don't always get this. You can have, one of these deals where you get 2 points the last 2 minutes of the game because they're battling for one possession at a time. You'd much prefer a team to be up 5. If they got up 7, they got to foul or do something to get some points on the board. In this point spread range, you see those dead times last 2, 3, 4 minutes sometimes of a tight game that concerns me here.
I hear that. Let's keep rolling. I've made no move on that game. We're moving over to Pacers, Bulls. Pacers open up at -3.5. Now they're -2.5 on the road. This total opened up at 213.5. It's still there at almost all the books, but bookmakers dropped it a half point down to 213. Bulls 7-13 at home. Pacers 8-10 on the road. Pacers pace last 5, 27th in the NBA, 95.1 possessions a game. Bulls pace last 5, 19th and 98.2 possessions a game. Both teams allow right around the same, a point difference. Pacers allow 106.6 points a game, and the Bulls 107.7. Brogdon missed past 4 Pacers games, 7 of the last 8 games because of his back injury. McMillan is hopeful to have him back in the lineup. He's listed as questionable right now. Sabonis questionable with a knee injury. Coming off that ugly 122-108 loss at home against the Heat. Bulls have lost 5 games in a row, 6 of their last 7. Now they have Wendell Carter, and Teddy talked about the toughness being out the window, and we saw that. Not that Thaddeus Young is a pushover, but, man, Derek Favors was able to bully his way down low when he went up against these Bulls. They also have been missing Otto Porter. That hurts so much. The perimeter presence that he provides both offensively and defensively. And the Pacers beat them up at home November 3rd, 108-95. Warren had a big game there. I wonder if Warren bounces back here. Teddy covers, Pacers, Bulls.
I think this is the best bet on the board in the NBA tonight. We have bet on against bet against. And I like those type of games where, you don't just have to be betting on your bet on. You got to bet against to bet on your bet on with. Yes, I would expect Indiana to come with a little bit of fire after what happened the other night against Miami. It sure feels like a let's get right spot for the Indiana Pacers, who are a good team. Okay. And they got embarrassed and humiliated and punched around at home. And I would expect them to be interested in getting out some of those frustrations. On the other hand, here's a Bulls team. Don't underestimate this Wendell Carter injury. Again, we talked about it on Wednesday. This is an impact injury that is not affecting the point spread. Those are my favorite kind of injuries in the NBA. Here's a key rotation player who they cannot replace. There is no other Wendell Carter on the roster. They were out-rebounded by 14 in New Orleans the other night. Okay? I would expect a similar margin tonight. That low post toughness, if you don't, when you don't have it, you miss it. And Chicago's going to miss it, and Carter's not moving the needle on the point spread. And at 2.5, that was a strike price for me. I made a substantial wager on this game, laying the points, laying the 2.5 with the Pacers.
Laying the 2.5 with the Pacers. That makes sense. Do you have any concern that Sabonis won't be in the lineup for you?
I have modest concern, but not enough to talk me out of the game. And Indiana's fine. Indiana can lose one of their two bigs. They can lose Sabonis. They still got Turner. They're not like Chicago where the one guy gets hurt and the low post presence just disappears.
I hear that. Ron Crawford joining us as well. Ski Profit in our chat says, I like the Pelicans more full game than first half. They struggle early at times. I may have jumped the gun there, but I did get it in. But actually, when I did bet it while I was on the air, and I didn't get the 1.5. I got the 2. It was moving so fast. I got the 4.5 too, thank God, because that moved to 5. Probably going to move to 5.5 soon. But that's I probably should have spent more time there. I may have jumped the shark a little bit. If you guys watching want to support the show here, if you could hit that link at the bottom of the page, www.sbrvideo/thebag. It takes you to our best sportsbooks page. And I'm trying to show SBR that I am valuable. And that's one of the ways, or the only way, one of the ways that I can do it. Okay, let's keep rolling along. Next up, we have Magic Suns. Magic Suns, Orlando, Phoenix. Phoenix opening up at -2. Pinnacle's moved it to 3.5. So is BetOnline. 3s everywhere else. This total's at 217. It has dropped down to 216.5 at Pinnacle, 216 at 5 times, but you can still get it at 217.5 even at UWager and Heritage. Magic pace last 5 is actually speeding up a little bit. They're now 16th. Suns pace last 5, 9th. Magic coming off that blowout win at home over Washington on Wednesday, 123-89. They've gone 7-6 since Vucevic's return. They're now second in the Southeast, 2 games under 500. Isaac still out with a sprained knee. Suns coming off their second straight home loss, 114-103 to the Kings on Tuesday night. They're playing bad basketball. This was a very easy homestand for them that they did not take advantage of. It's just Devin Booker scoring, Monty trying different things. He's playing Ayton and Baines together. Nothing seems to be working. Frank the Tank is out, but I am not a Kaminsky fan. I like him as a guy or whatever, but I'm not a fan of what he does out on the court. Gordon, every time Aaron Gordon goes back to Phoenix, he steps up, 22, 18, 17 points in the last 3 visits. I thought about maybe making a player prop move on him, but he's not being good lately. Do I trust him? I don't. Magic, Suns, Teddy Covers, take it away.
I will, but first I want to go back to your last point about clicking the link and about getting involved with the SBR, live odds page, and about getting involved with the sports books that help sponsor this show. All this stuff's free. We give you free content every day, and I hope we give you good content every day. And I know that you guys are out here in the chat. Whenever sportsbooks offer something, I'm like, take advantage of it. You have 1 account, open 2. You have 2 accounts, open 3. You have 3, get 6. You have 6, get 10. Okay? You don't have to put huge deposits in, but put something in, and that gives you the ability to line shop. When we were just talking about the Pelicans and Knicks 5 minutes ago, and there you are looking at your live odds screen, your SBR live odds screen, you see the lines are moving. That's your edge. You get down, boom, right there, right then. Oh, the odds are, let's find a stale 4. I can get down right here, boom. You can take advantage of that stuff. So thank you for watching every day. But please, take advantage of our sponsors, take advantage of these sports books, and get involved with some of these offers. We need your support, so we appreciate it. When it comes to the Suns and the Magic, and really that's something to do today. There's no reason to wait. Today, however many accounts you have, double them today. I encourage you. And it's not like putting in $1,000. No. Take it away. If you got 500, split it 250. Whatever. I'm going off on a tangent. I don't want to hard sell. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, and I appreciate you appreciating me, allowing me to sell just a little for SBR. We have to talk about SBR and promote SBR products. That's why we're here. When it comes to the Suns and the Magic, I will not lay points with Phoenix right now. I don't want any part of this team. You talked about the struggles that they've had and the home. This was supposed to be their get-right homestand, and instead they're 1-2, and they're finding ways. Phoenix is finding ways to lose close games. Their execution on both ends of the floor in close games has been dismal. And all of that feel good from the first 10 games of the season is come and gone right now. I think Orlando is the better of the two teams at this moment. They're catching points. They're better defensively. Aaron Gordon tends to show up for his games in Phoenix. Of course, he went to college at Arizona. He's played very well there. And the Magic have played well on this floor. Be Orlando or pass if I get involved in this one. It's not one that I've made a move on just yet.
Teddy, news just in. Oladipo will be in the lineup for your Indiana Pacers. How does that make you feel?
I hate it.
Yeah.
Is that fact?
It's just coming in from the chat right now. So I've not seen that as a fact, but Luis Fernando.
The line move doesn't make sense if Oladipo's playing, because the money would be coming on Indiana. I know he was back in practice. Maybe he will show up tonight. But so with the first game back when the star player comes in and he hasn't played all year, I don't want to lay points in that spot. The markets jump and the chemistry is altered, significantly altered. With a play like Oladipo. Once he comes back in the lineup, it'll be a week or two before I get involved betting on Indiana to be bet against during that span, in my opinion, for the first 2 or 3 games that he comes back.
Yeah, I hear that. Very interesting stuff. And Von Polo agreeing with you, says if Oladipo plays, I don't like that either. Okay, let's move on to Hornets, Jazz, Teddy, Charlotte, Utah. Utah opening up at 12.5. They're now at 12. This total has dropped heavy, and it's dropping heavy at Pinnacle. You think the other books are going to follow suit. 208.5 at Pinnacle, still 210 at Bookmaker, and 210.5 at Bet365. A two-point difference there is wild. And Dan Kelly saying Oladipo said himself that he wouldn't be back for a couple more weeks. And William Cathcart says Oladipo is still inactive on RotoWire. Dan Kelly said said himself he wouldn't be back. So we shall see. Okay, let's keep rolling. Garrett Kerr saying I heard late January as well. So we'll keep getting that information in from the chat as it happens. Hornets, Jazz. Hornets 30th now in pace over the last 5 games. Their guards have to do everything for them. And they're taking all of the shot clock to do it. Jazz pace last 5, 27th in the NBA. Jazz riding a 7-game winning streak overall. They've won 5 straight at home. Bogdanovich is rolling. Another 20-point game on Wednesday in that 128-104 victory over the Nets. Even Moutier got into some glory with 20 points Wednesday. Shocking amount for that guy. We've been waiting to see him have a career. Hornets coming off that 112-110 loss at home to Toronto on Wednesday night. They've lost 2 straight, 8 of 10. They're only getting action from their guards. Hornets, Jazz. Is this too many points, Teddy?
So the problem with playing the under is that Utah's offense has been through the roof. The Jazz, over the last month have gone from being very mediocre to figuring it out. And they figured it out on both ends of the court. I give Quinn Snyder a ton of credit. They did the same thing around this time last year. And Utah's a one-way team for me right now. If I'm not betting on the Jazz, I'm leaving the game alone. They haven't won games by big margins till they beat the Knicks the other night, and they ran them out of the gym. They might do that here to Charlotte. Charlotte's been a very feisty underdog. They've impressed me with their character. But you said it. It's a team that has to shoot jump shots, and you ain't going to beat Utah. You ain't going to hang with Utah. shooting jump shots all game. So I would certainly lean under in this ball game. The money's obviously gone in that direction. And the penny lean is telling you what you need to know. We call penny the leading indicator book, or one of the leading indicator books. That's where the sharp money goes. And if you're looking to see which way NBA lines are going to move, penny is often a leading indicator of where the broader market's going to go. So we expect some under money to come in. Some under money's already come in at the sharpest books, for what it's worth.
The marquee game of the night up next, Teddy. Lakers, Mavericks. So LeBron supposedly has the flu, will play. I hate that information. I hate when we talk about it. It's never worked well for us. You want as much information as possible. So I don't mean to. It just has not been helpful, it feels like, with our ROI dealing with flu spots. And then we have the AD situation. His gluteus maximus had a contusion. Gluteus maximus contusion. Davis is with the team, 2-game trip. He's listed as questionable. Mavericks still have no KP. Big Dick Zingis will be out of the lineup. He's improving, but they don't know when he'll return. Mavericks just lost by a point to Denver on Wednesday night, and I didn't pull the trigger. Hardaway missed the first 2 games of the homestand with a hamstring injury. He's come back now. He was just 3 for 9 from deep in the loss to the Nuggets, but 1 game, no sample size. Who cares? Teddy covers Lakers, Mavericks.
So I ain't stepping in front of the Lakers as underdogs, and ain't stepping in front of the Lakers in a game where without AD, maybe they want to show something, kind of like Philly did last night without Embiid. Like, hey, we can win without our guy. For the Lakers, AD's a stud, okay? But they have low post depth behind him. They have rim presence behind him. Some guy named Dwight Howard, he's okay. He can fill in for a little while. And it's not like Dallas is playing great ball right now. It's not like the Mavs are an undervalued. You ask me which of these 2 teams is undervalued in this point spread range. It ain't Dallas. So it's Lakers. I haven't pulled the trigger. But in this point spread range, I would only look at LA plus, not Dallas minus. And again, the Mavs aren't playing great ball. And I got the sense from the Lakers, they want to, it's not like, oh, we can't win without AD or anything like that. But it felt like without one of their stars, I think they're coming to play tonight. Lakers are pass.
Sammy Aniba saying that NBA is always next man up mentality. This game is an easy pass. And then we have this total that's gone up to 224.5 at BetOnline. Just 223.5 at Pinnacle. What do you think of this total, Teddy?
Well, I mean, it's not like Porzingis is a huge shot blocker, but he's a shot blocker. Davis is a shot blocker. You have the 2 shot blockers out, or 2 shot blockers out, and not surprised the total's going up in this one, especially for a TV game on Friday night. I have no strong opinion on the total. There's only one total that I had a strong opinion on, and we haven't gotten out of the game yet. Caldwell
Pope is rolling. That is a good call. Where is it? From Lanil saying Caldwell Pope's the play. He's just absolutely rolling. We got Reese in the house joining us. DeAndre Polk saying Lakers against teams over 500 isn't an automatic bet like they are against teams under 500. That's from DeAndre Polk. 420 Fuego liking Dallas first half. Akira 04 has strong lean on Dallas. 420 Fuego saying fade the Lakers. All right, let's move on to Bucks Kings. The Bucks looking human all of a sudden. They open up at -8.5. They're still there. Pinnacle's moved it to 9. This King squad, the total here is opened up at 223. It's now at 224. This King squad, second in the NBA in pace over the last 5. Bucks third in pace over the last 5, but that pace actually slowed down a little bit here. Bucks shot just 40% from the field against the Spurs, 40.2% against the Warriors in that 9-point win on Wednesday. And Antetokounmpo 1 for 12 from 3 over the last 2 games. Middleton 11 for 32 from the field over the last 2 games. And then the Kings are beat up from their bigs. No Rashawn Holmes, no Bagley, and then no Bogdanovich either. So they're a mess. Harry Giles got his first start. I'm interested to see what he can do. Dwayne Dedmon got a $50,000 fine. $50,000 fine for requesting a trade publicly. He finally got minutes for the first time. He got 32 minutes against the Suns, and he played okay. And Dwayne Dedmon is a guy that I think is a quality enough ball player. De'Aaron Fox rolling right now. Do the Bucks get out of this slump, Teddy? What do you think of this spot, Bucks Kings?
Budenholzer ripped them. Okay. So you have Milwaukee that hasn't played good ball. Their coach ripped you. You're facing a team that's missing multiple key pieces. Holmes, again, you talk the low post, the injuries that I pay attention to the most. Obviously, a point guard gets hurt, and especially a backup point guard. Those are great because they never affect the point spread, and they always affect the bench play. But other than that, when your low post defensive presence gets hurt, those guys are irreplaceable. Holmes is irreplaceable for Sacramento. And then Bogdan with his shooting, he's irreplaceable for that team. Well, they just rallied. They were down 21 against Phoenix and rallied to win that game. So I have an angry Milwaukee team. I mean, not angry, but an angry coach who wants his squad to play. I've got a Kings team that's been getting off to these miserable starts. I went back and forth on this. I decided first half is the way I wanted to attack it. Bucks first half against the Kings. I laid 4.5 in that regard, but I wouldn't talk anyone out of a full picture on Milwaukee here. I just thought that, given the intensity, given Sacramento's slow starts, given Sacramento's injury struggles today, and given the way I think Milwaukee's going to come out of the gate, I thought first half was the better bet. So that's the way I played it. But I debated to split it half and half. I debated, and I decided, this is a first half play. But again, I wouldn't talk anyone out of a full game. I do like the Bucks tonight in Sacramento.
I like it as well. Chris Temple saying the Greek is banged up. I think that makes so much sense. Sammy saying that Bucks going for their 40th win, they'll get it. Expect the Bucks to come out strong. Bled's W also on the Bucks first half. Bled's W on the under full game. Ski Profit like in the over in that spot. Ben Sports 24/7 has his cash flow play of the day coming in Manhattan Fairfield. Ben Sports Picks 24/7 coming off a 2-0 day himself. This just makes so much sense to me. And I'm going to double up here. I'm going to add first quarter into it. First quarter -2. I'm getting -2 right now. The 2.5s are coming, and Pinnacles move that 2 to -114. I'm still getting -110 at Bet365. First quarter -2, and then you can still get some first halves at -4. First halves at -4. No, you can't. Sorry. I spoke too soon.
I'm like, I'd be pissed if their first half's -4 out there. I was looking.
Yeah, that's my bad. My bad there. First half -4.5, -106. I'm going to grab that right now. First half -4, -106 at Pinnacle. I love it. I absolutely love it. Teddy, Warriors, Clippers, and we actually only have 7 minutes, and we want to talk NFL with you and hear your college basketball look. So let's get this done fast. I'm going to let you handle it. Warriors, Clippers. Clippers opening up at -8 plus 101. That's where they stand now. Oh, shit. What am I talking about? That's first half. Oh, God. Clippers opening up. Everyone's like, well, -8. -14. They're now -13.5, and this total is at 221. Clippers have had 4 days off. They've been playing terribly defensive. They've allowed 118.2 points per game over their last 5 games. Paul George already ruled out with a hamstring injury. Patrick Beverley dealing with a wrist injury. Warriors have lost 6 straight. D'Angelo Russell's missed 6 games. All of those have been losses. And the Warriors are allowing a lot of points as well. Teddy covers Warriors, Clippers. You making a move?
So I made 4 bets in the NBA tonight. I played the Pelicans -4. I played the Pacers -2.5. I played the Bucks in the first half -4.5. And I played this game under the total. And you said it right in your intro. Okay. Clips have had 4 days off, and they play dismal defense. Okay. What do you think they've been working on in practice the last 4 days? What do you think Doc's emphasizing tonight? And it's not like Golden State can't control flow. Their opponent controls the flow in every game. And the Clips want to play D. Maybe they get out in transition. Maybe they get to a $140 tonight, and that's a problem. And they go over the total. But it makes sense to me to look at some Warrior team total under and to look at the full game under. I think LA is going to come to play on the defensive end.
We got our guy Corey Simmons in the house. Focus on your bets. That look makes a ton of sense. Warriors pace last 5 now 14th. Clippers pace last 5 has been slowing down. Steve Priest says Clippers have gone over 3 in a row. Yeah, way over. That's the idea that they're going to tighten up after 4 days off. That's a very interesting look, Teddy. I'm going to need more time to study it. Teddy covers like in the full game under there. Okay, no taking. Teddy, we want to talk NFL football, and I was using you for what I needed, not what the chat needed. NCAA basketball, Teddy, do you have any moves? Because we do want to talk football.
I didn't come close. There was nothing that even piqued my interest tonight. Pass.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's get into NFL right now. Teddy, I did pull the trigger on the under 51 in Houston, Kansas City. We'll get to that quickly. Let's talk about the first game. That's the only trigger I pulled. Minnesota, San Francisco. And Teddy, you were in my head, and I was like, okay, I'll sleep on it. And then this morning, I pulled the trigger on the Niners to win the NFC. We don't have to agree on everything, and that's what makes this fun. Are you concerned about the Thielen ankle injury in practice? Do you think this 7 is too many points? Have you pulled the trigger on the Vikings?
I'm concerned about it. I mean, look, do not expect to get to the betting window pre-kickoff in this game. And it's a game that I've gone back and forth on. I still lean Minnesota plus, but I worry, again, the short week with travel, off an OT win in the playoffs with injuries, that concerns me enough that I'm not going to get the window with the Vikings. But do I trust San Fran enough for a franchise that hasn't been in the postseason, for a quarterback that's never won a postseason game, and you look it up and down that roster, they're not loaded with playoff veterans. Last time I saw Shanahan coaching a playoff game, I watched him blow a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. So I was a little bit reluctant, to get involved with the San Fran side here. I leaned, went back and forth. The lean remains Minnesota, but I'm not getting the window. I'm not even close to side or total. I wouldn't be surprised to see this game be a shootout. I wouldn't be surprised to see this game be a game where touchdowns are real hard to come by. And when you can picture a game, 17-14, you can picture a game 35-31. It's hard to get involved with the total. It's complete pass for me. Lean, mini, but I'm not getting there.
Oh, very, very interesting. Next up, Tennessee, Baltimore. We know that Teddy pulled the trigger on the over. He got the 46.5. Only Pinnacle's still hanging, and everyone else has gone to 47. Did you make a move on the side here?
Not even close. Who do you want to step in front of? Baltimore to me is they're not quite in the level of San Fran. San Fran has no playoff experience. Baltimore at least was there last year and got their asses completely kicked, which matters. But we surely don't have any playoff success for Lamar Jackson and company. And I would think they're going to come out with a big axe on their shoulder, big axe to grind. But the Ravens haven't been in this spot. They haven't been the team under pressure. They haven't been the number 1 seed. They haven't gotten the bye week. They certainly haven't won playoff games by this type of margin. And I don't disrespect Tennessee. Tennessee won a game last week without even coming close to their A game. Tannehill wasn't good. The passing game didn't exist. Tennessee has a much better game in them than the one we just saw. And the one we just saw was good enough to beat New England in Foxborough. So do I want to step in front of that? Laying 9.5, 10 points? No. Total here's the way I like it. Total stood out to me. And the fact that Penny's the only book at 46.5 doesn't make me happy. But nonetheless, I'm involved on the over here. And again, in terms of red zone offensive efficiency, number 1 red zone offense versus the number 2 red zone offense. I expect touchdowns. If we get field goals, we're screwed because the pace isn't going to be there. But I think we see touchdowns in this game. And as long as we get touchdowns, and it's not a field goal fest, I think we'll have enough drives to get this one up and over the total.
Teddy, Texans, Chiefs. I have some interest, on the Chiefs first half. I don't know if I'll get to the window, but I did pull the trigger on the under 51. That's starting to get juiced. This yesterday, the last 2 days. It was at minus 102, minus 103. This morning it got to minus 104. I'm still shocked that there's a 51 there. 35 Fahrenheit. And we talked all about the trends of Andy Reid going under. We do want to spend a little bit more time on the next game than this game. Are you going to get to the window on anything in Texans Chiefs?
So pre-kickoff, I'm not. And it's enough. I think the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl. Okay, so let's start here. So that's the level of respect I have for the Texans. All right, they're not a team I'm looking to that I have an interest in fading. And if they beat KC, they're alive. Think of Deshaun Watson's history, and when you think of what that passing game is capable of doing, and then Carlos Hyde ran all over him in the first meeting. But I'm not stepping in front of KC. I'm a Texans believer, but I will not step in front. The Chiefs are the team that again, but part of the playoffs. Chiefs are the team to beat. Chiefs are the team to beat, and I continue to think that Andy Reid with extra time to prepare has been brilliant. Both regular season and postseason. We want Reid in these roles. I believe in Kansas City's defense. I believe in that pass rush. And that's made all the difference for them down the stretch. And the markets have been slow to recognize KC's defensive improvement. But it's real. Hard game, man, side or toe. I can't wait to watch it. But from a betting standpoint, I really am not even close on this one. I am close on the next one, though. In fact, I pulled the trigger on the next one. Unfortunately, the line's already gone.
Well, let's hear your move on the next one. And I need the Chiefs. I need to be bailed out of this season with the Chiefs here. Okay, and I haven't made a move on the Ravens all year long, and we'll see if that blows up in my face. Seahawks, Packers here, and let's just start with this. Datfire TV says, can you ask Teddy about the under 47? It's his max bet. What move did you make on Seahawks, Packers, Teddy?
And I wouldn't talk you out of that under 47. I laid 4 with Green Bay. And actually, you still can lay 4 with Green Bay. A lot of the sharper books are at 4.5, but there's still plenty of books sitting at 4 right now. So that I thought that line had gotten away completely, but it hasn't. It looked like it was going to yesterday. But of course, everyone keeps talking about what Seattle's done on the road this year. I understand what Seattle's done on the road this year. That's all rearview mirror. Okay. All of it. Okay. What are they going to do on the road this week? All right. When you look at their last couple games, beaten at home by Arizona, that was a physical game. That crazy game against the 49ers down to the wire. Last week, tough physical game, nasty conditions, Philly. Now you're traveling east again. And you're playing a rested and ready and defensively solid Packers squad. And again, we lost Tom Brady. We got no Drew Brees. Who's the biggest name left? That's Aaron Rodgers. And Green Bay hasn't killed teams all year. They haven't been Baltimore and blowing everybody out every week. They're efficient. The defense is there. Seattle's injury report is ugly. UGLY. They ain't got no alibi. It's ugly. All right. Offense, 4 of their 5 starters on the offensive line are still questionable, doubtful, out. That's a problem. We know what the Green Bay ain't Philly. Seattle's done great. They've overachieved. This is where their season ends. I like the Packers. I thought the price was cheap at 4, and you can still find 4s out there.
Liking the 4, and I like Datfire TV's under as well. Maybe worth pulling a trigger. Teddy Covers, thank you so much. Follow this man on Twitter at Teddy_Covers. And have a big weekend. Teddy, let's get here on Monday. Everyone loves your UGLY. Everyone loves it, Teddy. Everyone loves it. Let's have a big. Moses wants you to do that again. We're going to have to, no, you're going to have to come back and see if it comes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Teddy Covers, thank you so much for joining us. Have a big weekend. And can't wait to see you again on Monday morning, my friend.
I look forward to it. Look, we got to have fun. We're going to give info, but we got to have fun. I appreciate it, guys. Good luck all weekend. Low baggers, kick some butt. Let's make some money. I'll talk to you guys on Monday.
There he is, Teddy Covers. We go right from Teddy Covers to Maxwell Smart. Rafa, my man, let's get it rolling.
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Max, my man, how are you doing on this Friday morning?
I can't say that I'm doing too well, Jim. I spent the early hours of today underneath a bridge waiting for a certain independent worker of the community to come by and give me a $25 handy, so not very good.
Yeah, those bridge pros are not the best at their craft. We have a small card. Traditionally, you do great with these small schools, small cards. Last year, you hammered these Fridays, and we have a nice little situation for you this Friday. Let's get after it. We have 11 games on the card, and we can touch on all of them. Let's get to work, Max. Right now, we're going to start with the one play that you've already given out, and that is the over in Manhattan Fairfield. Pinnacle opened this up at 112. It's now at 114. You jumped on at 113.5. Why are you on this over Manhattan Fairfield?
Oh. This is a Manhattan team that I think has done a really good job of improving their offense and their efficiency. We've really seen Takai Green really assume control offensively of this lineup, and he's doing a good job. He really gets into the paint. He gets into the center of the paint, where I think that he's his most efficient when he's straight up towards the bucket. And it's really just going to be about how much offense you can really get out of his supporting cast in Paulie Polycap, the senior, Tyler Reynolds, and Samir Stewart. On the Fairfield side, listen, this Fairfield team definitely, they've been lining their games quite low. It's been quite tempting to jump on these unders, but in the end, these are two teams that both shoot 40% from the field. You can get 10 to 12 three-point makes from them. They're going to get to the free throw line, and if this is a grinded-out rock fight style of game, I think that's going to come down to free throws, and that will help us get over this total. I think that this was just a misline number. There is going to be probably a good deal of turnovers, which could lead to transition buckets because both these teams are good on-ball defending teams. So it felt like a good spot. The numbers liked it, and the stats also backed it up.
All right, there's that first look that Max has already tweeted out. We got Dylan Turner joining us. Great to have you, Dylan. Let's get to work. We have questions coming in. I'm copying and pasting them, and we're going to get to each and every game, so why not use these questions to lead us in, Max? Our guy Moses Saucedo, and they got... So Moses Saucedo says, I know Maryland has been covering first half in conference play, but Iowa is by far the most consistent team. Can you ask Max about Iowa first half? And then, our guy, where is it? I just saw it, and I will find it again in a second. Oh, yeah, DeAndre Polk wondering about this Maryland-Iowa under. And then earlier today, we had our guy Jesse Dykstra say, really like Iowa at home today. Give me the points. Really nice bounce-back spot for a solid team. Maryland 0-2 on the road. There's your setup, Max. Take it away. The big game on the card. Well, two. There's two big games on the card. Maryland, Iowa. Maryland 1.5 point favorites at Pinnacle. 2 everywhere else. This total at 146.5 or 147. Max, take it away.
I'll start with the total, Jim, and I'll say this. This is a team in Maryland that, yes, they've had questions on the road. They are getting a little bit of reinforcement in the front court tonight with most likely the debut of Chol Mariel. So he's a 7-footer freshman that's been out with a leg injury for a couple months. I think that he makes his debut tonight. As far as the total, I think that when you're looking at this total, you're talking about two teams that shoot under 47% from the field. You're talking about two teams that are going to hoist up a decent amount of threes, but only hit between 30 and 33% of them. Free throw line is where you're going to have to worry about. If Luka Garza is getting fed and Jalen Smith's getting fed, you can assume that there is going to be some fouling. There is going to be some extra attention on sending help defense into the paint. It's a spot where I'm a little apprehensions about getting on the total, but my numbers liked Maryland full game. My numbers also liked Maryland first half. This is a Maryland team that definitely has to prove themselves on the road. but you also have to take into consideration who's not going to be in the lineup. And what we saw in the Nebraska game was that CJ Frederick, who's out with the ankle injury for at least a couple more games, was significantly missed. This is a guy that can really come in, give you a boost of offense off the bench, and he can start. He has a great three-point shot and just a nose for scoring the basketball. I think that they're going to continue to miss him. I think that the only way that I could play it was Maryland first half -1, or I would suggest taking the money line to avoid any kind of push factor. But the numbers like Maryland from my estimations, and I just wasn't able to get on Iowa full. I wasn't able to get on Maryland full game, so I took them first half.
Took them first half, but do you want to make that an official play?
Yeah, I'll make it official.
Okay, I'm going to line shop for you on that first half. While I'm doing that, we've had a ton of talk about Butler Providence in the chat. A ton of talk. And our Jeffrey Ryan liking Butler here. Butler opening up at 2.5, now 1.5. This total opening up at 125, now up to 127.5. Big game tonight, Max. Butler Providence, take it away.
Yeah, Butler, definitely ATS has been rewarding you. They've done a good job of winning spreads on the road. This is a number that really you don't have to think about the spread at all from a captain perspective. You just got to think about a win-loss perspective. And when you talk about Butler, this is one of the most dominant defensive teams in the nation. We know what Providence has been doing inside a conference. They're 3-0. They've taken down some decent competition, and they've done it on the road. I think, however, they come home and they have a little bit of issues with this Butler team. Yes, there is revenge for Butler this year, and you'd like to think that Kamar Baldwin is going to have a better than 7 for 22 shooting performance on the road. I think that that's going to be critical tonight. Bryce Golden and Bryce Nees coming off the bench or starting in the front court, that's going to be important also. I think that there's a lot of depth pieces that I have question marks about Butler with. And with Providence, we know that Malik White and Nate Watson are going to come off the bench, and they've been doing and giving a lot of production. So from this perspective, from my perspective, it's a spot that I would be going with Butler full game, but I'd rather take the money line just because I think that I'm ignoring that 6th ranked in the nation, and I'm thinking about situation. I'm thinking about where my numbers favor, and my numbers heavily favor Butler. I think that Butler wins this game by double digits.
Butler double digits. Butler double digits. Wow. Wow. That's going to make Jeffrey happy. That's going to make Jeffrey Ryan very happy. That's
Listen,
what
I'm wrong a lot, but I'm right more times than I'm wrong. So you know what I mean? Take it for how you will.
Yes, and that is exactly what we will do. But that breakdown is exactly what I think Jeffrey wanted to hear. Okay, let's keep rolling. We have a question from Vril Video. So it starts with that Manhattan over that you're already on, and the Quinnipiac. He wants to know what you think about Manhattan over and the Quinnipiac teaser. So let's get into that Niagara Quinnipiac spot. Quinnipiac opening up at -9. They're now -8. Heritage has them at 7.5. This total's open up at 147. It's now down to 145.5 in a couple books. Max, Niagara Quinnipiac.
I can tell you that I don't know edges on teasers or anything like that, so I can't really help out from that perspective. But I can tell you this: Quinnipiac has definitely been efficient. You know, they've done some good work offensively. They have a beast down low in Kevin Marfo to rebound the basketball. And when you got two snipers like Rich Kelly and Jacob Rogoni, you've obviously seen that the three-point line moving back has not affected this Quinnipiac team whatsoever. This is a team that's hitting 12.5 3-points a game. They're hitting 39%. They get to the free throw line. They are efficient there. I think that Quinnipiac wins this game handily. My numbers did have a small edge towards Niagara, but that was at 9.5. And if you can get 7.5 on Quinnipiac full game, I would be pouncing on that. That's a spot where I would like to make official, and I'd also like to add them first half -4.
All right, well, let's get that for you right now. Questions about certain games coming in from Steve Reese. We're going to get to all of them, so not to worry. Let's get you that. First off, I still haven't got you the first half that you wanted from Maryland. That's -1 at -105. Would you prefer a money line there?
What's the money line, Jim?
Let's find out exactly what it is here for you. Let's find out exactly what it is here for you. Okay, while I'm doing that, your first half that we just spoke about locking in was what, Max? Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Quinny?
Yeah, no, I'm going to take Quinnipiac
Quinnipiac.
-4 first half.
Okay,
and
you're
I'm going to get them full game -7.5.
Quinny -4 at -110. That's first half and full game. Let's give that to you right now. Well, quickly, let's see what money line you can get here. So there's a -1 at -105 is an option for you. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Money line for Maryland. Oh, it's bad. You don't want anything to do with this. It's -125 is the best you can get.
So that -1 makes me feel a lot more comfortable now.
Yeah,
I'll take that. No problem.
Sure. Maryland -1 and -105. That's shocking, that difference. Maryland -1, -105 first half. Now we're going to go to full game Quinnipiac and get him Max that 7.5. There's 7.5 on the board for Quinny. And let's grab it right now. That Quinnipiac first. There's a couple. My fault. BetOnline also has one. Heritage is at -105 though. Let's get you that. Heritage for Quinnipiac -7.5 full game at -105. Okay, we'll let the questions coming in from the chat lead us into our next game, Max. Steve Priest says leaning to Akron -3.5. What does Max think? Ball State, Akron. Let me move to spreads and totals for the full game. And here at sportsbookreview.com, the SBR odds page, and the Ball State Akron spot. Akron opening up at 4.5, now 3.5, Max. This total opened up at 135, now 137. What do you think of Steve Priest backing Akron here?
Yeah, I think that's a solid play. I think that with Akron against Ball State, you got two of the best defensive teams in the MAC. Definitely Ball State's had a little more of a challenging conference season to start, taking down Toledo and Buffalo, where Akron has beaten Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan, but both by margin. When it comes down to this game, I look at it from this perspective. Akron has some revenge. Akron's lost 3 straight games to them, but that was with Trey Moses. That was with Taylor Persons. Those guys are graduated. KJ Walton, I don't know if he's playing tonight, and I'm going to keep on betting against Ball State because I don't believe in this team. When Taji T goes up against Zarius Williams tonight, they both do the same thing. They both get up and down the floor. They both get to the free throw line. They both can hit a critical three-point shot at a time that the team needs it. And I think that Friday's matchup is going to be probably one of the best games on the card from a viewing perspective. You got two very good defensive teams that average to give up less than 65 points a game. The Zips are only allowing 57 so far in conference season, and they're one of the best three-point shooting teams and three-point defending teams. I think that's going to play a key role because how I looked at this game and the way that I could get beat by taking Akron is if Ball State hits more than 10 three-point shot makes. And only one opponent so far of Akron has done that this year. That was UMass. And I just don't think that Ball State's going to have the same kind of success that they had against Buffalo from the three-point line on the road. I think that Ishmael El-Amin versus Chanel Banks, that's a huge matchup when it comes to the first and third top three-point shooters in the conference. But the depth and the point guard play from Lauren Christian Jackson is going to be the goddamn difference tonight. I already took Akron at -4. I took them at -3, and I'll make them official at -3.5 for the show.
Matt Randall also leaning towards Akron. Let's get you that spread right now. -3.5 for Akron at -103 at 5 dimes. Talk about line shopping. That's a 15-cent better line than you can get at BetOnline. And Bovada is the only book hanging a 4. 5 dimes -3.5 for Akron. Akron -3.5 at -103. All right, let's let our man Reese take us into the next spot. Reese wants to know what you think about this Penn-Princeton spot. Pennsylvania-Princeton. This game pops off at 5 p.m. Eastern, where the other games are at 7 or 9. Pennsylvania-Princeton. Little afternoon action for us. Pennsylvania opening up at -1. This total has dropped 5 points, Max, from 149 down to 144 at Penny. Pennsylvania-Princeton. Max, take it away.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was slow to the trigger today on this total. Missed the best of the under. Missed the best of the under on the team total for Princeton and Pennsylvania. And the only way I'm looking at this game now, as far as betting and making official for the show, is Pennsylvania first half. I think that obviously when you play a team last week in your first conference game and you smack them in the mouth with a goddamn mortadella roll, well, you may be in a situation where you want a little bit of revenge. And this Pennsylvania team, they're not lacking weapons. There are nice pieces on this team. And I think that with Devin Goodman and AJ Brodeur starting it off, I think that you really got a nice starting point. I think that with Ryan Bentley, you really need his 3-point shot and his good ball distribution. But this is a team that I think that they're going to want to get some. I think that with Princeton, with Richard R. Segua and Ryan Schweiger, you got really good front court pieces, but they play sometimes separately, and if one gets into foul trouble, it makes them significantly weaker there. I think that Princeton has a good chance to win this game in the second half. I've watched a good deal of them this year. I've seen them start slow, and I also have a little bit of bias to them because they have Llewellyn, who is a Canadian point guard. So we'll see what happens tonight as far as full game, but I will make Pennsylvania first half an official play on the show.
Official play, and the taint play today is Princeton moneyline. Dewey Finn liking Princeton as well. Cash action bets on Princeton, but Max taking Pennsylvania first half. Max, you want him on the money line at minus 120, or I'm expecting you to like a minus a half at minus 105?
Jim, you know me better than that. I'm not going to pay 15 cents more juice for the same result that I expect to happen.
Penn first half minus a half at minus 105. Okay, let's keep rolling along. We don't have much time left. Let's go to full game. Here we go. We're almost done the card, though. The card is almost over. Let's be quick here. Northern Kentucky, Illinois, Chicago. Northern Kentucky at minus 1. This total's gone up from 133 to 136. They're a move to make here.
Yeah, there's definitely a move to make here. When it comes to Northern Kentucky, this is a team that definitely is still missing some of their key offensive weapons, and I do worry about them traveling and performing like they did against Oakland, against Illinois, Chicago, who is a three-headed monster and some developing front court pieces with some good size. I think against Oakland definitely has struggles from scoring from the perimeter, so Northern Kentucky didn't have that aspect to really contend with from an offensive defensive perspective. With Illinois, Chicago, with Godwin Bowen, Marcus Audie, and Tarkus Ferguson, you got a three-headed monster that can each give you a dominant offensive performance. I think UIC has value in the first half at plus half a point, and I like them full game.
All right, let's give you them a first half very quickly. We got to get into this next game. We are almost on the card. First half, here we go. Plus a half. I can get you plus a half at minus 110. Plus a half at minus 110. Or if you want money line, I can get you plus a half at minus 110. Or plus 100 is the best money line you can get. Which one do you want?
Yeah, I'll take the minus 110.
UIC plus a half at minus 110. And you also want them full game. Let's go there right now. Full game. The money line full game we can offer you is plus 108. Not very good. The point spread I can offer you right now is for UIC. I can offer you plus 1.5 at minus 105.
Yep, I'll take it.
Plus 1.5 minus 105. Okay, we've got to be fast here, Max. The next spot, Iona Rider. Iona opening up as a 7-point dog. They're now 6 or 6.5. Is there a move to make here?
Yeah, there's definitely a move to make here. This is a Rider team that definitely is finding their mojo. They got dominant pieces, front court, back court. They get to the free throw line. They shoot volume free throws. They make volume free throws. I think that's where they do their best work. They dominate the offensive glass. They force turnovers. They get out in transition. They're very good on ball defenders. I think that Iona not having their coach, I think that they're battling each other eternally. You've seen it on the court the last couple games. I think that foul trouble is something that you have to worry about when it comes to Asante Gist, when it comes to Tajon G. These are guys that need to stay on the floor and seem to continuously get into foul trouble for Iona. This is a team that has burned your money, and the only way for me to play it is Ryder first half -3, Ryder full game -6.
Double up on Ryder. Max, we got to put a bow on the show very quickly. Next up is Canisius Monmouth. Monmouth opening up at -4 now, 4.5, and the total's gone up 4 points from 140 to 144.5. And I will give you those Ryder double up. What's next with Canisius Monmouth?
Yeah, this is an interesting spot. Monmouth has definitely stepped it up the last couple games, especially into conference season. I think that today, where they have their most significant advantage in this matchup is in the first half. I think that taking them on the first half is what I'll do for this game. I may jump on the full game later on once I do a little bit more study, but this is a Monmouth team that is going to make a decent amount of three-point shots. They hit close to 80% of their free throws. They get on the offensive glass. And I think that when you get 10 steals a game, you're getting out into transition, you're getting some easy buckets, you force 17 turnovers a game. I'd rather take the sound defensive team than the team that commits 16 turnovers and doesn't make 70% of their free throws. So Monmouth first half, and then I'll think about jumping on them full game.
Okay, I'm going to give you Monmouth first half -2 at -112 or 2.5 at -105.
2 -112.
All right. While we're doing that, Wright State, IUPUI, you making a move there?
Yeah, this is a spot where I think that IUPUI has value on the first half. This is a team that's definitely stepped it up, but don't be too impressed by that double-digit win as a double-digit dog against Green Bay. I think that IUPUI has value on the over if you can get 156.5. If you have to go up any further, I'm not comfortable with it. These are two teams that have played a total of 15 games each. 20 of those games have gone to the over for both teams. I think that with Wright State, you have a very potent offensive team that does start slowly. My numbers have IUPUI by 6.5 points in the first half, and I'll take the +6, and I will wait and make a judgment call on if I can get a better number full game on Wright State, which is what my lean and my numbers favor.
We will give you IUPUI first half right now and finish off this card, Max, with Buffalo, Miami of Ohio. Buffalo opening up at -1, which is where they stand now. Take it away.
Yeah, so this Buffalo-Miami, Ohio game definitely is highly contentious game. I think that when you saw Buffalo play against Ball State, they really struggled to get threes. They really struggled with ball movement, and Devontae Jordan was a major issue, and he's been struggling the last couple games. That's your floor general and the guy that you expect to be offensively productive every game. I think that with Nike Sabande and Delonte Brown and Bam Bowman, you have some nice pieces over there that can give a lot of problems to Buffalo and specifically the guys that are coming off the bench. However, I do think that Buffalo wins this game and rights the ship. However, my numbers do like Miami, Ohio on the first half. So I'll take Miami, Ohio first half, and I'll leave the total and the full game side alone.
Miami of Ohio first half. We are giving you a +0.5 at -105.
Yep, works for me, Jim. That's what I bet.
Miami of Ohio +0.5 at -105. We have Max's card ready. I got to give him his Ryder first half and full game juice still. But he's got Miami of Ohio first half. Sorry, I didn't write first half there. +0.5. IUPUI first half +6. That's at -115. Monmouth -2. Monmouth was first half or full game?
First half, Jim.
Okay, thank you. First half, I didn't write that in. First half -2 at -112. The Ryder double up first half -3, full game -6. UIC first half +0.5, full game +1.5. Penn first half -0.5. Akron -3.5. Maryland full game -1. Quinny first half full game -4 and 7.5. Manhattan over 113.5. Max, what is the play of the day?
So we're going with a team total, Jim, and we're going to go to the Wright State game. Over 82.5, -120. That's the play that I bet. That's the play that I'm giving out. And I think Wright State can get to 85 to 90 points tonight against IUPUI. So we're going with the team total. We're going with a high-scoring game. And hopefully we're going to get back on track with this goddamn play of the day.
Let's get it. Let's get it, Max. Bright State team total over 82.5. That is the play of the day. We have a video from AM coming up. Max, thank you so much for joining us. Follow this man on Twitter at Maxwell Smart 420. Max, have a great weekend and get that cash, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody in the chat. And remember, go to SBR video /the bag and support the show, support Jimmy, support SBR. We don't ask a lot. We want to give you winners. We want to have this great community, but we need you to do that for us. So help us out there.
Thank you so much, Max. There you have it. Before I review my stuff, our man AM play of the day coming up right now. I had the honor of hanging out with him in Toronto. Also, a small, not a well-known fact, his mom is in the chat as well. Coactus capping as well. And we miss you, Coactus. Come back to us. We love you. And we love your son, AM. Play of the day. Take it away.
Hey everyone, it's AM Plus Money here to bring you the barbecue sauce titty play of the day for Friday, January 10th. For this one, we're going over to France Ligue 1. The matchup is Rennes versus Marseille. Rennes is sitting in third place in the league table with 33 points, while Marseille is sitting in second place with 38 points. Both of these teams are on a run of extremely good form right now. Rennes has won their last 5 straight in Ligue 1, including their last 5 at home and last 7 at home in all competitions. Marseille, on the other hand, have not lost a match in their last 8 games, including 7 wins and 1 draw. Now, I look at the series history between these two, and I notice it's very evenly matched. The last 5 matchups between these two teams have ended in 3 draws and a win for each both. The last 3 straight have been draws. Before that, Marseille won 1, and before that, Rennes won 1. But the match that Rennes won was won in penalty kicks after a 2-2 draw. So, really, it's been 4 draws in the last 5 matches between these two teams. And one of those draws was earlier in the season in Ligue 1, in the reverse fixture in Marseille. They tied 1-1. So, considering both teams are on an extremely good run of form here, and Rennes does have the home advantage, but considering they've only won one of their last 11 home matches against this Marseille team, my play for you guys is going to be the draw at plus 220. So, just again, the play is Rennes-Marseille, draw, plus 220, the barbecue sauce titties, AM plus money.
There he is. Our guy, AM in the house. Dutch boy fresh like AM's hair over Poppy's hair. Follow this man on Twitter. AM plus money. That's who he is. He's our guy. AM plus money in our chat every day. Every day. Let's go over the NHL quickly for myself. We have Jamin with J Money coming up in 23 minutes. I'm on one look, over 5.5 in Coyotes Hurricanes. If they put 20-year-old Prosvetov in net, I don't see how. I mean, we've seen these 20-year-olds come up and the first-round draft picks get hurt. What about a fourth-round draft pick? I mean, this guy was on the Saginaw Spear a year ago. This guy was in the ECHL at the beginning of the year. Over 5.5, Coyotes Hurricanes. Coyotes coming off a shutout. I think they're going to be making moves. Then, in the NBA, I have a ton of looks. I'm on the under 239 at minus 105 in Hawks Wizards. I am on Pelicans first half minus 1.5, full game minus 4. Those are both at minus 110. Also, I'm on the Herter and Trae Young props. I got 29.5 over for Trae Young, and I got 13.5 for Herter. I have a lean towards the Heat. I don't know if I'm going to get to the window. And then I made moves. Wow, not as many moves as I thought. I thought I made a ton of moves. I did not. I also doubled up here on the Bucks. First quarter minus 2 and full game minus 4.5. And then that's all at this point. And Nilo says, when is Parlay Poppy returning? On Tuesday. Parlay Poppy makes his triumphant return. Thank you guys so much for watching. But most importantly, stick around for Jamming with J Money. Also, hit the link at the bottom of the screen. But
Leche, Los Bookmakers.